Welcome to Sports Factory. This is a show that is designed for you to learn more about what goes on in the world of sports. I'm your presenter. My name's Lamek Zulu, also known as Folex. Now, today on the show, I've got somebody that people have not really paid attention to when it comes to Zambian football. And these are people that we call unsung heroes in the Zambian game. I'm talking about Francis Litana, who joins me on the show today. He's actually the brother to former Polo Polo defender Elijah Litana, and he will be having a chat with us on the show today. So, how are you doing today, Francis?
I'm well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Okay, just share with us your football journey. When did you start playing football?
Um, I first started playing soccer when I was 6 in Germany, actually. And we would travel distances like Ndola Lusaka, just for games. When we came back to Zambia in 81, um, I started playing street football with what we call Chimpombwa.
Yes.
Yeah, that was new to us and it was very exciting. After that, my dad got involved with Vitafoam United, and he would ask us to follow him to the Dagamashot Stadium.
Yes.
Back then, that was the home of Vitafoam United, and the interest came from there. Yeah.
Now, in my preamble, I did say that you are the brother to former Polo Polo defender Elijah Litana. You seem to be coming from a football family. Share that background with us in terms of the family embracing football, especially that you did mention that your dad was involved with Vitafoam United.
Yeah, Dad actually used to play soccer in Germany as well. And at one point, when he was in college in the UK, his college team was in a cup final, and they played against Stoke City. He did very well, so Stoke City wanted him on their books. But then our late founding father said, no, you didn't go there for football, you went there to study, so he couldn't. So that's a story for another time. So that's basically where I'm coming from. But yes, we do have my dad's younger brother, Uncle Arthur. He also was an ardent soccer player, but then he never went into the professional levels, reasons best known to himself. But we are a sporting family, and we do have the passion for the game. Elijah, actually, Elijah's actual name is Griffin, but people don't know how to pronounce it very well, so they opted to use his dad's name, which is Elijah. So this is why we call him Elijah. So Elijah and I used to play soccer in the park there by Petauke.
Yes.
Yeah, again, Chimpombwa.
Yes.
So those are the memories that I have. And that's how it actually all started from there. And then, of course, I moved on to join Ndola United when Dad left Vitafoam. I moved on to join Ndola United as a 16, not 16, but I think by that time I was 14.
Yes, 14.
Yeah, 2 years later, I was signed up by the then late coach Chris Mutonga. Yeah, so yeah, it's been quite an interesting path.
Yeah. So now, at what point did your brother start playing football?
Griffin or Elijah?
Oh, Elijah.
Yeah. Sorry, Griffin or Elijah. Yeah, Elijah started playing football for Railway Express before he actually could even join Roan United or Vitafoam or is it Power Dynamos?
Yes.
He had actually opted to join Ndola United after I spoke to him because, you know, there are times when a player goes through a rough time and is not being favored. So I told him, hey, look, come join us. In fact, I think here we can make good use of you, you know. So we spoke. Before you knew it, I think a week or two passed. The next thing I heard is he's at Rome. And that was it.
So, your perspective, at what point did you attract coaches from the national team? I know it was after the Gabonia disaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, we'll also get to you because when I was doing my research, I discovered that you were deemed to be more talented than him. And the difference is you were playing different positions.
Yeah, well, very talented player. I mean, he, like, you know, before we actually started the show, I was telling you that we were actually goalkeepers. You know, myself, Elijah, the 8 older brother, Pethias, my 3 younger brothers, we all had the experience in goals, but we all like to play in fields as well. Things happen. Yes, I was to be amongst
The
group.
team that perished?
Unfortunately, or fortunately enough, I broke my leg, and that was a Wednesday. We had a midweek game against Nkana at Musa Kasonka. And after the game, I was supposed to connect to Lusaka to meet the rest of the team who were to go by bus. You know, the Estom Mulengas and them. Yeah. Unfortunately for me, it wasn't to be. I think it was within the 3rd or maybe 4th minute of the game, I was tackled, and I snapped my fibula and my tibia.
So you count that as a blessing in disguise because we wouldn't be talking to you.
I most likely wouldn't have been alive today. So I have a story to tell. Yeah, I have a story to tell.
So now there came a time that your brother was picked for national team after the Gabon air disaster. Just share with us some moments how.
It was a very proud moment for us as a family, and for me in particular, because we were very close. In fact, even now we are close. It was humbling and very exciting. He was always a very hardworking footballer, as far as I'm concerned. Back in the days, he used to be very rough, you know, very brutal. You know, he's a huge man. You know, sometimes I call him the bear, because you know he's got such an imposing figure. He's such an imposing figure, and quite strong. He's also fast. He's got skills. He's got dribbling skills. Apparently, he can actually play up front and also in the midfield. So him playing in the back didn't really come as a surprise to me, because growing up, even I was a centre back. You know, when we're playing these Chimpombwa football games, you can be anything. You know, and it's always, for me, I think that is one of the reasons why we're who we are today, and why we may have a solid foundation as in our football careers. Coming back to Elijah, his passion for the game is admirable.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. Fast forward in 1994, we went to the AFCON. He was part of that squad. Scored what I would call crucial goals that helped the team, progress in the tournament. I remember one was against Mali, the other one was against Nigeria in the final. How did you feel as a brother then, especially that if it wasn't your injury, you would have been part of the squad that was supposed to represent the country?
I felt very proud. He's representing the family, obviously representing the nation as well. I felt really elated because he went through a lot. You know, he really went through a lot. For him to get to where he got to the point where they even selected him to play for the national team, he went through a lot. He probably went through worse than I did. Yes.
Are you able to share some of those moments?
Yeah, I mean, and I think it's something that is one of the reasons why Zambian football isn't moving forward is if I don't know you or like you, then it doesn't matter. Okay? So whatever happens to you, I don't really care. So that's one of the reasons why he had to leave Express and then go to Roan, who saw something in him. And then Power Dynamos saw something in him. The nation saw something in him. And there we go.
Okay, now there's always this element in African football, Zambia in particular, from your playing days, issue to do with juju. Is it true that players use juju sometimes? And if they do, just share some moments, obviously no names mentioned, some moments where you actually feel that there's some magical hand behind certain things.
You know, I ran an academy, and I used to tell the boys, you come here for football, it's a God-given gift. So I don't want anything like, all right, who are we playing today? Oh, we're playing Chifuvu Stars. Okay, it's just a name I've made up. We're playing Chifuvu Stars, so this is the way we're going to beat them. And then now you must start putting leaves and stuff in your socks. To me, that's a big no-no. Maybe it's because my father warned me about it, and I'm grateful to that.
But did you ever experience anything of that sort?
Well, I did, and it's one of the reasons why I actually left. I left the game. I was 26 when I... No, that's not true. I was... I was 26 when I decided to leave the game. Again, it was decent advice from my dad to say, look, stop playing while you still have the respect that you are commanding now. And he was right. I'm 53 now. I still command the same respect. Never have I used that stuff.
No, I want you to zero in on just some moments where you could notice to say maybe a team you are playing against or a team you are playing for. Maybe the coach says, okay, ukutulea mufile munyanti hapa, then you get into to the pitch.
Okay.
You get onto the pitch. Are there such moments?
I'll give you one. Ndola United versus Vitafoam United, sister clubs. Big game, Musa Kasonga Stadium. I can't remember the year. Ndola was on fire. Vitafoam were equally on fire. We donned a brand new kit, the Manchester United sharp, and they came with the Holston, Tottenham Hotspurs, brand new. Everyone was dolled up from top to bottom. New boots, everything was new. Our bus was to drive in reverse.
Why?
Okay? I still don't understand to date, and I couldn't care less. And then, of course, you had to go to a certain room, and I like I said, I just said, no, that's not for me.
I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing this.
We
lost 4-0.
How did the coach take it?
Oh, he didn't take it very well. We lost that game 4-0, and I was blamed for it. So I said, oh, okay, you're blaming me? I told you this stuff wouldn't work. I'm just one player. And there were about 2-3 other players who were very close to me, who are still alive today, who actually agreed to my saying,
not doing it.
They went ahead and did it quite all right, but And we're good friends. We're still good friends.
Did they take time to, I mean, share with you after the game what exactly they went to do in that room?
Yes, they did. They did. And my question was, well, did it work? Look, 4-0.
No, I want you to just give us the details, for example. Oh, they were told, okay, when you get into this room, sit here, do this. Obviously, we are not mentioning names, but just the act.
I mean, water. You take water and wash your face. I mean, I don't see the connection.
Also, you wash your face.
Yeah, I just don't see the connection with football. Yes, it's not just Zambia. Many countries, even in Europe, believe me, or not, even in Europe,
They believe in that.
there are some that are superstitious. You know, there are some that are superstitious. But the extent in which we have gone to,
You are enjoying Sports Factory, and we are chatting with Francis Litana, who has given us some interesting insights about the Zambian game. So now we're talking about Juju. We've touched on a number of things concerning Juju. There are certain players that believe in praying. We've seen teams praying and clapping en route to the game. What's your take on that?
well, prayer is good, but if I am in a boxing match against, I'm fighting you, how do I pray to God that I beat you? I mean, God doesn't take sides. One, He doesn't play football. Okay, He gives us the talent, so we should make use of that talent. Okay, and we can actually glorify Him in the way we do things, but how we do them will matter.
But maybe it's the question of protection against injuries.
Oh yeah, I mean, that day I broke my leg, I prayed personally. I prayed for protection. But you know, we live in a world that is, if you're a Bible student, you will understand that we live in a world that is run by the devil. And well, I broke my leg, and I'm alive today to tell a story. All I can say is I'm thankful to be alive and to really understand and get to know who God Jehovah is, and the talent that He gave me. Today I coach, I teach swimming, football, fitness and health. It's a gift He gave me. And so I'm making use of that. So let's make use of the gifts
That God has given
yes.
us. Okay, let's zero in on age cheating. I know it was more rampant, I'm sure, during your time.
Yeah.
Somebody, for example, is 25, but because they want to be part of the under 20 squad, they'll say I'm 17. Did that ever happen?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm sure it still happens even now, because I do question these young boys that attend academies, and when I ask him a question, I'll say, look, how old are you? You're a good player. How old are you? And I'll say, before you give me your age, I want your true age. And he would give me the true age. And I would advise him, say, look, play under your actual age, okay? Because what's happening is this. It's a cancer that was conceived back then because we wanted to carry on playing. So here's Francis, he's 53 and he still looks like he's 30-something and can still run, can still kick a ball, can still jump. His speed is still pretty much good. And I'll say, okay, look, I just say I'm 20 years old. What am I doing there? I am sitting on not one talented player's spot, but maybe 100. Just that. So for me, as Francis, as somebody who has played soccer, who has coached, and who's been trained as a coach, we need to curb this thing. And it needs to be curbed ASAP. Let's do something about it now. Let's make sure that these children that we are bringing up are being taught the right thing. If you're 6 years old and you're playing for the under 8s, that's okay. It's within. But you're not going to be 10 years old and you're playing for the under 8s. And this is the beauty about the private schools. They have what they call the ISAs. ISAs, if you prefer it that way, but we say ISAs. They introduced age categories. So if I were a scout in Zambia and I was looking for talent, I would cast my net wide and not leave out the private schools, because they have been left out.
Let's talk about something else as well. There's the use of enhancers as players go to play football. In an African setup, we bring in the issue of daga smoking. That doesn't sit well with FIFA or these regulators.
Yeah.
During your time, what was more common, and how would you advise the young players now?
It's a big no-no. Don't do it. When I tell people I'm 53, they just don't believe it. They think I'm still in my 30s.
What makes you look so young? Before you even touch on that.
It's a lifestyle. I try to eat right as much as possible. Get enough sleep as much as possible, which is enough rest. I don't dwell on stressful things. Okay? So in short, for lack of better terms, to reduce the headaches. I think of happy things, do happy things. You know, like I said, I'm a fitness and health instructor with the Easy Fitness outfit. I train with them every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I do swimming every Tuesday and Thursday with Caris House. So I'm ever busy. I don't own a car currently. I walk, and it's okay by me. This is who I am today. And I'd like to encourage other people to stay away from too much alcohol. Smoking is a big no-no. Don't take drugs. Don't take drugs. Just, it's a big no-no to me. For me, it's a big no-no. So even in the football, it doesn't really take you anywhere. It doesn't.
Would you advise, for example, the Football Association of Zambia to have a nutritionist for the national team and somebody who actually is going to teach our players their lifestyle if they want to progress in their careers?
If, and this is a big if we don't have a nutritionist for the Zambia national team, as well as the clubs, I think we should introduce that. It's a good thing, because our friends in Europe, or you can just ask players who've been there, like the Kalus, and they'll tell you, no, we were actually told what to eat. You know, we were told what to eat. And there's also a time frame. You know, there's also a time frame depending on how far your game is, or if you're losing, if you've been put on a weight losing program, you know, or a weight gain program, because all that comes into play.
Now, I remember, you know, this becomes more interesting. I remember one of the reasons we were told one of our strikers did not tick at Portsmouth was the eating habit. I mean, so if that is going to be introduced, I think that is going to help us. Let's move on to other things now that would help us improve our game, and that this is infrastructure. Obviously, one person would argue that we do not have the resources.
Oh, yeah, that's somewhat a tricky one, because that for as long as I have been in this nation, that topic is still being talked about. I'll cite an example of Um, the Olympic Development Center. Okay? We need more of those. We need more of those, and preferably on the Copper Belt. Of course, in the other provinces, I think if we could have one or two in each of these provinces, that would be a big plus. For me, that would be a big plus. And of course, rehabilitating some stadia within our own country, like, Konkola Stadium is a nice stadium. And all you really need is kind of modernize it by putting in some seats and making a few changes here and there. It's a big ground. It's beautiful. It was one of my favorite grounds to go to. Not because I would score there once in a while, but it just was a well-maintained pitch, nice and big, well-nurtured grass. That's what we need. But coming to your, to answer your question again, is introducing foolproof youth programs, because I think we've done that.
Yes.
We don't have facilities, so where do the kids go? Where do they go?
Interesting. Let's get back to you now. What was your highlight when you were playing football?
Wow. We were playing. Zanaco was born, and they had this tall striker. I just can't remember his name. He was a brilliant player. Brilliant player, and they had an excellent team. I scored 2 flying headers, 1 in each half, carbon copy. It's a pity they weren't on camera back then, but that for me was the highlight. After that, I went to Botswana. Nobody knew where I was.
Okay.
I went to join my parents. They were living in Botswana.
They were living in Botswana. I thought you went to join any of the teams there. Which one was your worst moment? You've already talked about breaking your leg, but obviously, maybe apart from that.
I think there was a season. There was a season where it didn't matter how hard I trained. I would be told, and just for the sake of respect of this particular coach, who even today, he's the late, but I have so much love for him. I would be told, you've trained very well. You're a starter. Come day game, I'm on the bench.
Why? Maybe you are not willing to give him something,
yeah.
like is the case.
It could be certain elements which we've already touched in earlier start of the meeting, this interview. Possibly that, but it's a comme ci comme ça kind of thing, because he is one coach who believed in me. So I couldn't understand.
Yeah, you couldn't understand. But are there players that pay coaches just for game time? From your experience?
I haven't seen anyone do so, especially not with my time at Ndola United. But I've heard stories, and yeah, it's there, and you hear a certain player B complaining about player A, because I'm not in the team because that one tipped the coach.
What effect does that have on the team?
It isn't a good thing, because if other players say, okay, fine, Francis is supposed to be in the team, and this used to happen even at Ndola United. You know, Francis, if you were there, we probably would have scored, we could have won. I'm not saying this because I'm Francis Litana, but it's a fact. Okay? I trained hard, and everybody knew I was going to be a starter. The crowd is saying, Mamona, ila mamuvikamu, bola ya chinja, and that's what would happen. Okay? And unfortunately, he eventually get fired, and not that I liked it. 'Cause I love the man. He was like a father to me.
No, I bring this in because there are stories even now. I know your time and now are two different, but there are stories even now where certain players are rushed to the national team because they have to be sold outside the country. I mean, there are names that have popped up, because of these agents coming in. How has money influenced our game? Just compared your time and this time. There's so much money injected in our game now than was the case then. How has it influenced the game?
Yeah, well, if I can be candid with you, the players we had then are just as good or even better than the players we have now. But we played for peanuts compared to what the boys are getting now and the girls. I'm happy for them, okay? But don't use money to get into the team, because you will find a coach who is straightforward, who will call a spade. I'm like if you come to me and say, Kocha, say, I'm going to turn you back. Say, okay, fine. That's it. I'll probably release you. That's how I was brought up. Okay, I cannot speak for other coaches, but let me say this. It's killing Zambian football if we are taking money just so that, I can feel the player. No, you're not being fair to those that are working hard. They're sweat and blood. It's just not fair. I hope it's not happening. I have heard these stories as well, and we hear it a lot. I mean, I've had young boys come to me, and I've advised them, no, leave, go find another team. There's nothing I can do, but I can advise you. Go find another team. Maybe there they'll appreciate your talent. Okay? I left Ndola United on my own accord. There was a lot that went on. I love Ndola United to date, and they're doing well, and I'm very happy. I do send messages to the coach and to the team once in a while, because I'm not a social media type of guy. It's killing Zambian football. It's killing football all over the world. It's corruption. It should stop. It should stop.
And this has contributed to match fixing, hasn't it? Yeah. It has been a wonderful chat. I know I'll be calling on you anytime so that we have another chat, but this one was refreshing. We've learned a lot, and we can only wish you all the best in your future endeavors.
Thank you very much. Honor is mine.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so that is our guest for today on Sports Factory, Francis Litana. I hope you've learned one or two things. We are out.